So today I'm going to show you how to draw a mouth. Keep in mind that anytime during this video you can pause or back up to keep up with it. Alright, so when you draw a mouth, the most important thing to start with would be the line that is created when the two lips are touching. Make sure that you have a mirror handy if you're drawing your own mouth, or a picture or the person whose mouth that you are trying to draw. It's important to reference that constantly while you're doing this because everybody's mouth is just a little bit different. On the edges of the lip line that you've just drawn, you're going to put a teardrop shape to represent the spit traps or the corners of your mouth where your lips don't completely touch. And then you'll draw the top lip, remembering that there are two humps or mountains on the top lip, and then the bottom lip where it's just one valley. Things to think about when you're drawing your lips are the thickness, how they compare to each other, and where they touch each other on the corners. We seem to think that our lips touch perfectly together, but that's not really always the case. When you start shading your lips, you're going to use a curved motion to create the sense of depth so that your lips don't look flat. The right side of your lips line is going to go to the right, the left side is going to go to the left. You're going to shade like this, darker on the corners and then lighter as it gets to the middle to give the illusion of space or depth. Dark on the corners, lighter as you come to the middle. Also, you'll notice that when you look at your top lip, there are creases that are in your top lip from when you purse your lips together, you make a kissy face. When you draw those, you're just going to make a little lines darker every once in a while to represent those crease marks. The darker on the edges, lighter in the center, that's the biggest thing to remember here. I'm going to work a little bit on shading this. Okay, now on your bottom lip, there will be a little area of a highlight or a naturally white area that's reflecting more light than on the top lip. That's because the bottom lip is facing up and would be catching more light than the bottom lip is facing down. So I'm going to kind of draw off this area in the middle of my lip to represent that light highlighted area. You don't really have to draw it if you just keep it in mind and keep that area lighter than everything else around it. And then you go about shading the bottom lip just as you do the top lip. Darker on the edges and then lighter in the middle. However, one thing to remember about the bottom lip is that it is generally a shade lighter than the top lip because it's facing up and would reflect more light than the bottom lip facing down. So when you're done shading this, if you need to go back and darken the top lip so that it's one value or one shade darker than the bottom lip, then you should do that. Alright, then you're going to shade in the spit traps or the corners of your mouth dark, and then go in and you can shade the line that's created when the lips are touching a little bit darker there too. Your top lip is going to cast a little bit of a shadow onto your bottom lip. So you're going to want to go right there where the lip line is and shade dark to light onto your bottom lip. Show a little bit of dimension or depth where your top lip is shadowing it. Don't be afraid to get pretty dark here. The darker is just going to show more dimension. I'm just darkening in that top lip like I said I was going to come back and do. So that the top lip is just a little bit of a darker value than that bottom lip. And then we're going to start addressing the skin of the upper lip. When you drew your noses, do you remember that you drew the Cupid's bow or that little dimple, that little divot in the top of the top lip? So you'll go ahead and add that here also, similar to what you did in the nose. Right now I'm just adding a little bit more details, showing those crease lines a little bit more, kind of perfecting that before I move on to that Cupid's bow. Now that Cupid's bow. Remember, it's kind of a U shape, and then each side of it has a raised point of skin, so it's going to stay lighter, and then go down the outside of your lips. You need to keep an area of white skin around the outside of your lips because it shows that it's a raised area. When you shade that Cupid's bow in, it's just going to be dark to light going centered, just like you did with the nose. All right, and then shade the skin around the upper lip. Do you see where I'm marking where the white area is? Around the lips and then kind of down from where that the corners of the mouth are. I'm going to put where the nose is here just as a reference point. The nostrils of the nose are going to shadow the skin just a little bit, so you got to be thinking about that when you start shading this area. It's going to go a little bit darker where the nostril is, and then blend into the rest of the skin color. Show you kind of placement wise where the nostrils are, the outside of the nostrils and the inside of the nostrils. Notice that I'm giving a little bit of a shadow on the outside of the nostrils. This is something that you did when you drew your noses, but the nose and the mouth are so closely related that they really do affect each other as far as values are concerned and how you shade. So you do one side and then you'll go and do the other side. Your nose is going to shadow over the top of the Cupid's bow a little bit, so you could add a little bit of a shadow over those areas that are supposed to stay white, just to show the nose is coming out from the face a little bit more. Okay, then each of the corners or the edges of the mouth where those spit traps are, it's going to go dark to light down into your chin there. The fleshy part of your cheek kind of comes and overlaps the corners of your mouth, and so you're going to show a little bit of that when you're shadowing this. Same as the top lip, the bottom lip is surrounded by a white line. Pay close attention to the person that you're drawing or the particular mouth that you're drawing. This is a little bit different for everybody, so look at who you're drawing and what theirs looks like. All right, now your bottom lip, because it sticks out far from your face or further from your face than the top lip, you're going to have a little bit of a shadow right there under the middle of your bottom lip. It's going to be sort of an upside down U shape or maybe a hill shape. It's going to be darker here, darker depending on how far your bottom lip sticks out from your face and how much of a shadow is created there. You'll go dark to light into the chin. And then the edges of this just sort of blend together. You don't want it to have any areas that stand out from each other. They need to blend nicely together. I'm going to show you kind of where the chin is, at the bottom of the head, so that you have a little bit of a reference here. And think of the chin as kind of a circular shape. It's not a sphere, so you don't want to shade all the way around it dark to light like you would a sphere, but you're going to keep an idea of it being a circular shape, you know, the tip of your chin. And then everything else just gets shaded around it. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's how to draw a mouth simplified. There's other details and other things that we could add to it, but you know, in the simplest sense, this is how to draw a mouth.